الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. Inshallah ta'ala, today we'll continue regarding our book At-Timithi في علوم الحديث by Ibn Mulakin rahimahullah. So in the last lesson we had covered concerning matters relating to adab at-talib al-ilm al-hadith in particular, and we mentioned some of those sifat that are expected regarding the talib al-ilm al-hadith, and also books that will give more detail on that particular important topic. So today inshallah ta'ala we'll continue with this lesson by continuing by what the author rahimullah have mentioned regarding other matters relating to ilm al-mustalah. So after what he mentioned regarding concerning mention, so the author rahimullah ibn Mulakin, that he state ومعرفة غريب ولغة وتفسير معاني استنباط أحكام وغزوه إلى الصحابة والتابعين وأتباعهم وفاقا وخلافا. So the author rahimullah, that he mentioned regarding the next of those points regarding from what is mentioned in his book ومعرفة غريب ولغة. So discussing concerning that, one, being aware regarding the Ghareeb al-Hadith, those hadith that are considered to be strange hadith, meaning wording, walugati, and the language of the hadith, wa tafsir ma'ani, and tafsir, the explanation of the meanings, wa istimbaat ahkami, and also how to extract rulings from the hadith, wa ghazwuhu ila as-sahaba wa tabi'in, and also to reference back that information to the Sahaba and the Tabi'een, wa ta'ba'ihim, and also those that came after them, wifaqan wa khilafan, where there's an agreement and where there are differences amongst them. So that's concerning the next of those points regarding this particular risala, at-tazkirah. So in discussing further regarding the points that the author rahimahullah he mentioned, that he states concerning the importance regarding what is attached to the science of hadith, is regarding that at times that in the matan, and this matter that is being discussed is regarding matters that relates to the mutun, matter that relates to the wording of the hadith, where at times there are certain wordings that may be mentioned in the hadith that are considered to be strange words, that the words that the meanings are somewhat not very clear to everyone. So having knowledge of this, and also this is the part of the science of ilm al-hadith. So they mentioned regarding what is stated as concerning al-Ghareeb al-Hadith. So within the science of hadith, that they have a chapter that is dedicated regarding Ghareeb al-Hadith, what are called strange hadith. So concerning strange wording in a hadith, obscure word that have hidden meaning, words that are said to be difficult to comprehend, that this also is looked at within the science of ilm al-hadith. So regarding concerning al-Ghareeb, they mention as regarding Ghareeb al-Hadith, we'll mention concerning what is intended or meant by this particular mustalah. So regarding the word al-Ghareeb, so the word Ghareeb, it means something which is ghamid min kalam, so that which is somewhat difficult to comprehend from speech, from someone's speech or from someone's statement. So ghamid, so something is somewhat obscure regarding its meaning and what is intended. So that's concerning the meaning linguistically. So it becomes sa'ab al-fahm. So because the word is somewhat obscure, difficult to understand, it makes it difficult to understand what is said because of those words that are unclear. So istilahan, as to what is meant regarding within the ilm al-hadith, that they mentioned that what is meant concerning ما وقع في المتون الحديثية من ألفاظ الغامضة بعيد عن الفهم لقلة استعمالها. So regarding concerning what is meant, as they mentioned in hadith, regarding what is meant by Ghareeb al-Hadith, ما وقع في المتون الحديث. So what is sometimes found within the mutun, the wordings of the hadith, min alfaz ghamida, where you find words that are difficult, ba'id and al-fahm, where most do not understand, is difficult to understand and to comprehend that word, لقلة استعمال, due to the fact that it is not used regularly. So that word is used not regularly, so it becomes difficult to understand and to comprehend that word. So that is what is intended by Ghareeb al-Hadith. So we find, so that's concerning that matter regarding, as we mentioned before, also we used the word Ghareeb before, Ghareeb al-Hadith, that we're now discussing, and also I mentioned concerning that Ghareeb min al-Hadith. You have those Ghareeb min al-Hadith and also Ghareeb al-Hadith. So the person to distinguish between both. So al-Ghareeb or Gharaba that we discussed before is regarding, we'll find that in the narration that relates to the narration, where we find maybe a single narrator. And in this case, we are discussing more concerning difficult words, strange words that are found within the text of the hadith. So the first relating to al-Gharaba fi sanad, that relates to the chain of the hadith, the narrators of the hadith. And also this particular discussion regarding Ghareeb al-Hadith, regarding difficult words that are found in the text of the hadith, the wordings of the hadith. So regarding concern this matter, that it is important for the person of hadith also to know how to research in finding the meaning of those words and to clarify the meaning of those words. So there ought to be a very important topic regarding matters that relates to ilm al-hadith, as it aids the person regarding to understand the hadith properly and to put the hadith in its proper context, and also to not for the person to fall into misunderstanding the hadith because of not understanding the wordings that are mentioned within the hadith. So it's something which is there. So we'll give the second thing that we'll mention here concerning that example of this regarding Ghareeb al-Hadith. So cases where the hadith is said to be Ghareeb and how one go about understanding those hadith. So regarding concerning the example that we mentioned, that we just mention a hadith that they mentioned concerning the hadith of Imran ibn Hussein radiyallahu anhu, and Rasulullah alayhi wasallam annahu qal. So the Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that he has said, Salla qa'iman, or salli qa'iman, that you should pray qa'iman. فإن لم تستطع فقائدا. If you're unable, then sitting. فإن لم تستطع فعلى جنب. Then he mentioned the shahid, and if you're unable, then you فعلى جنب, on your janab. So regarding concerns word janabin, right? That word is said or mentioned by some of the ulama as being a strange word in the hadith. We mentioned ala janabin. What does he actually intend or meant by this word ala janabin? So it has been discussed by concern. You find that other hadith that have somewhat explained. So you find another hadith of Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, قال ala janabi ayman mustaqbil al-qibla. So what is meant by janab, regarding what is meant by this, janabihi al-ayman, that a person that is set to his side facing the qibla. So the person that rests on his side facing the qibla. So that's what is meant by this word. So another hadith that is mentioned regarding that particular matter, an example where the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned it, man iktasala yawmul juma ghusl janaba thumma raha faka'annama qarraba badana. So the hadith he mentioned, the shahid mentioned, the meaning of the hadith, man iktasala yawmul juma, the one who takes a bath, the ghusl yawmul juma, that I mentioned, this ghusl janaba, it's supposed to be the ghusl, this bath of that of janaba. Thumma raha, then the person that he goes to Juma, فَكَأَنَّمَا قَرَّبَ badana. So the one who arrived early, then it's as if he has slaughtered sacrifice a badana. So the word badana, what is meant by this? So the ulama mentioned the word al-badana is said to be of those words that are said to be Ghareeb, where they mention that at times this word badana, it can mean either a ibil, which would be a camel, or bakara, or a cow. So the word badana could take one of those meaning. So it could take the meaning of ibil or bakar. So what is actually intended by this? So from the hadith that they have mentioned, that you find Abdul Razak as-Sanhan rahimullah, that I've mentioned regarding concerning that other narration, kind of somewhat I've explained concerning with a meaning concerning falahu min ajr mithlu juzur. Mithlu juzur. So the person received the reward of that of a juzur, meaning concerning the person of slaughtered a juzur with a camel. So it shows concerning that what is intended. So that word badana is said to be of those words that are difficult, but then explained in other hadith or other narration that explain what is intended by this. So regarding concerning al-Ghareeb al-Hadith, that the ulama rahimahullah, that they have mentioned that the way about researching and of Ghareeb al-Hadith, then the person or a way to approach Ghareeb al-Hadith, that the first step is one either try to find other hadith that will explain that hadith. So regarding concerning Ghareeb al-Hadith, at times certain wordings are used that are strange, foreign in the actual text, but you find another hadith that will explain what is intended. So you find other hadith explaining itself. So that's concerning one method, as we gave an example before. So the word bada'a, so mentioned concerning that al-badana, that it mentioned in some narration mentioned jazur, which would be the camel. So you find that at times hadith will explain itself by another narration. Other times that I mentioned concerning that we go back then also, which will be the next matter to be discussed, that there's books of the ulama of hadith that are specific to this particular topic. So find books that have been written regarding a hadith that will are books that will explain Ghareeb al-Hadith. So there's particular books that have been written on this particular topic by the ulama of hadith. So it is coming from those who are specialists in the field of hadith and the lugha regarding explaining difficult words. So you find many books on that topic. Amongst those books that are used regarding of those who have written, that we find concerning Ghareeb al-Hadith, that is written by Abu Ubaid al-Qasim ibn Salam. Abu Ubaid al-Qasim ibn Salam al-Harari rahimahullah, and he died 224 al-Hijri. So he died 224 Hijri, where he wrote a book regarding Ghareeb al-Hadith. Also you find another book that is written on this topic, is the book that is also titled Ghareeb al-Hadith. So another book, Ghareeb al-Hadith, and that is written by Ibn Qutayba. So Ibn Qutayba, that he wrote a book with Abi Muhammad Abdullah ibn Muslim ibn Qutayba rahimahullah tabarak ta'ala. So he wrote a book which is called Ghareeb al-Hadith. Also of those, and you find many others. Also you find that Imam Khattabi, so al-Khattabi with Abu Sulaiman Hamd ibn Muhammad, who died 388, who died the year 388, that also he wrote a book on this topic. So that book of al-Khattabi, that is called Ghareeb al-Hadith. So those books of the Shia, also of those who have written on this topic, which is of the person who specializes in lugha, and that is Zamakhshari. So Zamakhshari, who's Mahmud ibn Umar Abu Qasim, that also he died the year 538 al-Hijri, that also he wrote a book that is called Al-Fa'iq fi Ghareeb al-Hadith. Al-Fa'iq fi Ghareeb al-Hadith. So Al-Zamakhshari also wrote in a book on this particular topic. And also of those who have written on that topic, that become one of the many who have written on this topic, and of those who have written on this topic, that his book is said to be of the most important of those who have worked on this particular topic, is the book that is called An-Nihaya fi Ghareeb al-Hadith wal-Athar, or Athar. So it's An-Nihaya fi Ghareeb al-Hadith wal-Athar, and it's written by Ibn Athir. So this book is written by Ibn Athir, who's written on this particular topic. So Ibn Athir, that have written on this particular topic, and he died 606. So he died the year 606 al-Hijri, who have written on this particular topic, and is said to be the most ahsan kutub fil Ghareeb. Is considered to be of the more better of those who have written on this particular topic, and one of the more renowned books on this particular topic. Even though all the books that we have mentioned before, that they are also valuable book on this particular topic, but because Ibn Athir, who came after those who preceded them, then he collected what they have written and put together a more comprehensive book on this particular topic, which is called Nihaya fi Ghareeb al-Hadith wal-Athar. And this is one of the copies of this particular book. So this is a copy of this book that is written by Ibn Athir. So this is what it looks like, this particular book of Ibn Athir on this particular topic, where everything is done by huruf. So you have ar-ra, so everything concerning ar-ra, malfa. So he discussed concerning ahadith, rafa'a. So discuss concerning those ahadith are those wordings we find in hadith where this word appears and explain what is meant. So that's concerning Ghareeb al-Hadith on that particular topic. So we have you have others also others who have written on the topic regarding this, but of those who have mu'asir that have written also on this topic, where there's a book that is called Al-Mu'jam Al-Mufassir li Kalimat Ahadith Kutub al-Tis'a. So it is called, the name of that book is called Mu'jam Al-Mufassir li Kalimat Ahadith Kutub al-Tis'a, and the author of this is one of the Mashaykh of Misr, who Shaykh Abi Mu'adh Tariq ibn Awadullah, one of the ulama al-Mu'asir. So the Mashaykh from Misr, who is involved in hadith and also checking up books of hadith and publishing books of hadith, that also he have written a book on this particular topic, which is considered to be a very nice book on this particular topic where you can somewhat explain concerning Ghareeb al-Kalimat regarding Qutub al-Tis'a. So Qutub al-Tis'a, you may intend Bukhari wa Muslim, Abu Dawood, Nasa'i, Ibn Majah, At-Timithi, Al-Muwatta, Muslim ibn Ahmed, and also Ad-Darimi. So Kutub At-Tis'a, that those are not per se in that order, but those are the books in general. So that's concerning that particular book on that particular topic. Then the author, Rahimahullah, Ibn Athir, then he mentioned, after this, then he mentioned, our next matter we mentioned, wa tafsir ma'ani. So that again, regarding this matter, which is Ghareeb al-Ahadith, is to explain the meaning of those wordings, wa Istimbaat Ahkami, and also of those matters is regarding how to extract concerning Ahkam. So regarding extracting Ahkam from Ahadith, what is referred to concerning Fiqh al-Hadith, that is all Shurul Hadith. So also you have books that have been written on this particular topic to aid and to assist concerning how to understand the Hadith correctly. So regarding concerning this matter, the person that always refer back to the ulama who specialize on these topics regarding you look into what they have said about these particular matters. So regarding Al-Ghareeb al-Hadith and also regarding Istimbaat, extracting Ahkam from these Hadith, then the person will see as to what have been said by the ulama who preceded us. So look to see what have been said by the ulama who preceded us regarding what they have mentioned, and to see as to what they understood from these hadith, and then we build from there. So regarding concern the person not to rely upon themselves as a talib al-ilm jadid or new, but this concern the person use the books of the ulama to assist. So regarding Istimbat Ahkam, that refer to either Al-Fiqh al-Hadith or Shuruhat, you find many books regarding the main books of Ummahat al-Kutub, that you find for them Shuru. So find concerning those of the ulama who have explained the books of Hadith. So for example, Al-Kutub al-Sitta. So Kutub al-Sitta, Bukhari, Muslim, At-Timithi, Abu Dawood, Nasa'i, Ibn Majah. So these are Kutub al-Sitta. So you find for each of those books that you find explanation. For each of those books, we also can include concerning other books, Al-Muwatta, that is more very famous. Also Muwatta of Imam Malik rahimahullah, that book also we find many explanation. So you find that the person regarding Istimbat, regarding Ahkam, then also the person will refer back to those books that have explained these books of Hadith to aid him in this manner. So we have the likes of Fathul Bari, we have the likes, that is Ashar of Sahih Bukhari by Ibn Hajar Asqalani, and also Fathul Bari, another explanation of Sahih Bukhari by Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali. Also you'll find other books regarding Sahih Muslim, Al-Minhaj by Imam An-Nawawi rahimahullah, explanation of Sahih Muslim. So these books of Hadith that we have that explain the Ummaat of Kutub as-Sunnah, then we refer back to them regarding these matters. And also find other books that the likes of Nail Autar, that regarding concerning Istimbat al-Ahkam, that these books specialize more regarding how to extract ruling from Hadith. So the likes of Subul al-Salam by As-San'ani, Nail Autar by Al-Shawkani, that the person use these books to assist him regarding understanding the Hadith and how to extract the Ahkam from them. Then I mentioned وَغَزُهُ إِلَىٰ الصَّحَابَ وَتَابِعِينَ وَأَتْبَاعِهِمْ وِفَاقًا وَخِلَافًا. And also the person that the person also reference back these matters regarding Ghareeb al-Hadith, regarding Istimbat al-Ahkam, refer these matters back to the Sahaba. So if we find aqwal of the Sahaba, statements of the Sahaba, or from the Tabi'een, Atba' al-Tabi'een, from the As-Salaf, from the Qurun al-Thalatha, regarding the Sahaba, wa Tabi'een, wa Atba' al-Tabi'een, then we always best for the person to reference back to them and to highlight their views on these hadith. So you mentioned regarding wifaqan, whether it's something that they agree upon between themselves or something khilafan, or they may disagree amongst themselves. So the person showing the importance of the person regarding understanding hadith correctly, that we refer back to the aqwal of the salaf, referring back to the aqwal of the salaf in understanding the hadith and knowing the ahkam of the hadith that we use to aid us regarding the statement of the salaf. What are those matters they are agreed upon between the salaf, or those matters they are matters of difference between the salaf, but always to refer back to them and to know their aqwal. So that's concerning that matter, the matter that relates to this point that the author rahimahullah discussing regarding Ghareeb al-Hadith. So important regarding to understand the Hadith correctly. We have to be mindful that there's sometimes words that are said to be Ghareeb, strange or foreign, that a person may need to able to can get the correct meaning, but the person have to have the correct tools to get this correct understanding. Then after the author rahimahullah, he mentioned another matter which is discussed concerning another point that to be discussed in a separate lesson. So the next lesson, inshallah ta'ala, we'll be discussing concerning the other points that the author rahimahullah discusses. وبالله تعالى توفيق وهذه السبيل والآخر دعوانا الحمد لله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.